राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So let us do this Ekadashi song today. Very beautiful song by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. It's called Shuddha Bhakta Charanarenu. It is from the book Sharanagati. Hare Krishna. Shri Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. शुद्ध भगत चरण रेणु शुद्ध भगत चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूल शुद्ध भगत चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूल भक्त सेवा परम सिद्धि भक्त सेवा परम सिद्धि प्रेमलती कर मूल शुद्ध भगत पर चरण रेणु भगत नुकूल माधवती थी भक्ति जननी माधवती थी भक्ति जननी जेताने पालन कोरी कृष्ण बसती बसती बोली कृष्ण बसती बसती बोली परमादरे बोरी गौरामर जे सब स्थाने गौरामर जे सब स्थाने कोरालो ब्राह्मण रांगे से सब स्थाने हेरि बोहामी से सब स्थाने हेरिबो आमी प्रणयी भक्त संगे मृदंगवाद्य सुनीते मन मृदंगवाद्य सुनीते मन आबासारा साध जासे गौरबिहत कीर्तन सुनी गौरबिहत कीर्तन सुनी आनंद हृदय नाचे युगल मूर्ति देखिया मोरे प्रमाणानंद होई जुगल मूर्ति देखिया मोरे परमानंद होया प्रसाद सेवा करिते होया प्रसाद सेवा कुरित होया सकल प्रपंच जाय जेदी नगरी है भजन देखी जेदी नगरी है भजन देखी गृह ते गोलक पाया चरण सिधु देखिया गंगा चरण सिधु देखिया गंगा सुख ससीमा पाया तुलसी देखी जुरया प्राण तुलसी देखी जुरया प्राण माधव तोषिनी जानी तुलसी देखी जुरया प्राण माधव तोषणी जानी गौर प्रिया सकसेवने गौर प्रिया सकसेवने जीवन सार्थक मानी भक्ति विनोद कृष्ण भजने भक्ति विनोद कृष्ण भजने अनुकूल पाय जा भक्ति विनोद कृष्ण भजने अनुकूल पाय जा प्रतिदिवासे प्रेम सुखे प्रतिदिवासे प्रेम सुखे स्वीकार करो यथा प्रतिदिवासे परम सुखे स्वीकार करो यथा शुद्ध भगत चरण रेणु भजनानुकूल भगत सेवा परम सिद्धि प्रेमलति कर मूल शुद्ध भगत चरण रेणु भजनानुकूल. Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written the song Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu. The song is taken from the book Sharanagati. Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes the association of Sri Krishna's devotees very important. He also speaks about the importance of the holy dhams where pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are performed. He speaks about the importance of observing fasts like Ekadashi and Janmashtami. In this song, the importance of prasadam is stated. Offering what we eat to the Lord is an integral part of bhakti yoga and makes the food blessed with spiritual potencies. Then such food is called prasadam or the mercy of the Lord. Krishna's potency is absorbed in that food. In this way, material substance becomes spiritualized, which then affects our body and mind in a similar way. This is his special mercy for us. Thus, the devotional process becomes an exchange of love between us and the God, which includes food, and that food not only nourishes our body, but also purifies our consciousness. The dust of the lotus feet of pure devotees, enthusiastic devotional service, and service to the pure devotees of the highest order are the roots of the creeper of devotion. The holy days like Ekadashi and Janmashtami are the mother of devotion for those devotees who respect them. Let the holy places of Krishna's pastimes be my places of worship and bless me. May I always visit all the holy places associated with the Leela of Lord Chaitanya and his devotees. When I hear the sound of the mridanga in my heart, I always desire to join in Kirtana, and when I hear the bona fide songs describing Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, my heart dances in ecstasy. Whenever I see the transcendental Sri Vigrahas of Sri Radha Krishna, in my bliss for my taking their lordship's prasada, we can conquer over the material elements. One day, while performing devotional practices, I saw my house transformed into Goloka Vrindavan. When I take the Charanamrita of the deity, I see the holy Ganges waters that come from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, and my bliss knows no bounds. By seeing the Tulasi tree, my heart feels joy, and Lord Madhava is also satisfied. When I eat the prasada favored by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is a new life's experience. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very fond of green vegetable preparation called shaka. And there is Bhaktivinoda Thakura concludes by saying, whosoever attains the stage of enthusiasm for these devotional practices will be supremely blissful wherever he may be. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. I hope you had a wonderful Ekadashi yesterday. Hare Krishna to all. Danvat Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Over to
Thank you,
you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we have Ekadashi today actually. Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome back. So, uh, let's offer our prayers. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुसूतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सकलरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साधवैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादा सगणललिता श्रीविशाखावितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय श्री प्रभुपाद जय श्री गोविंद आदिपुरुषम भजामि चैतन्य महाप्रभु नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम पदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः. O most beneficent incarnation, you are Krishna himself, Lord Krishna himself, appearing as Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And, and you have been distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer respectful obeisance unto you. Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishnam Sangapangostra Parshadam Yagnahi Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Sumedasah. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregation chanting to worship the Godhead, incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Sri Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Now, offering prayers to Sri six Goswamis of Vrindavan. नानाशास्त्रविचारणैकनिपुणौ षड्धर्मसंस्थापकौ लोकानां हितकारिणौ त्रिभुवने मान्यौ शरण्याकरौ राधाकृष्ण पदारविन्द भजना आनन्देन मत्तालिकौ वन्दे रूप सनातन रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizing, studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds because they are honored all over the three worlds and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of Shri Radha Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktirbhavati Naishtaki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Prabhupada Jai Shri Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Jai Hare Bo. Thank you. So before we begin, today we'll be doing lesson 133 and lesson 133 is split into two parts, A and B. So today we'll do A and next weekend we'll do part B. And so before I begin, let's see, somebody's going to do a recap of what we covered yesterday, lesson 132. Hare Bo. Who's going to
Hare
do?
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, we'll be doing the recap today, Prabhu. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just letting you know, everybody, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, and Char Prabhuji, I absolutely don't have any qualification. Forget about studying to touch even Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. I am such a most fallen soul. It is just a mercy of devotees and divine couple. That's all. I absolutely don't have any qualification. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hope everybody is able to see the slides.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Yesterday
Prabhu.
we had. Thank you, ma'am. So yesterday we had a wonderful session, okay, from the Charu Prabhuji. So from the lesson 132, from the sloka to 30 to 35, okay, which we are going to see total 6 slokas. So let us take each sloka and then try to do the quick recap and then expecting a good participation from you all. Hare Krishna. So let us start with the first, the sloka 30. The first one is control and dependency. Especially yesterday's session, there is so much of takeaways for me. So let us understand from each one of us what is that we are going to learn. Hare Krishna. So the first theme, which is wonderfully drafted by Char Prabhuji, is the control and dependency. So the Supreme Lord is immutable. Okay, He is a source. Okay, of the entire existence, including us. Yeah. So every jiva, every living being exists as dependent. We are completely dependent. Okay, we have seen that so many times how we are fully dependent with Krishna. See, jiva constantly changes the bodies. Okay, and emotions and circumstances, but Krishna is unchanging, and we are fully dependent upon Krishna, and He is in fully control. That is what we have seen in the first theme. Yeah. And then second theme is illusion of knowledge. See, material knowledge, okay, which we are reading it, which we are understanding, is through gaining through our senses and mind, is fundamentally so incomplete. We all know that. Okay. It is all because our senses are very limited. Okay. Our perceptions are misleading. Yeah. Our logic is error. Yeah, agree or disagree? Hope you all agree with that. So the true knowledge begins only when we accept that the Supreme is beyond the material comprehension. But it is not that easy to accept for these logical brains, Prabhuji's Matajis. For that is the reason we have to do proper study of under the guidance of Guru, okay, for the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, that is very essential for us. So to understand what is real knowledge, what is illusion of knowledge. Okay. So therefore, what we understand is the Lord is known not by material intelligence, will not be known. We will get to know very, very little only through devotion and surrender. So just by saying devotion and surrender, as I mentioned, it is not at all easy. We have to study, we have to do sadhana, and we have to study our shastras under the guidance of our gurus. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Now let us see the third thing, that is philosophical perspectives of Jivatmas. Okay, here one of the key theme which we understand is Advaita Mayavada perspective, which Charu Prabhuji has explained. Advaita Mayavada perspective says that all souls are ultimately one with Brahman after liberation. But Srimad Bhagavatam, okay, challenges that this affirms individually of the souls even after liberation, also where individually souls still exist. Okay. Prabhuji's Mataji's, I would like to share my experience on this particular topic. So from my childhood, I am doing little study, okay, on the spirituality and the purpose of birth. I always I spend good amount of time, okay, with the Advaita philosophy, okay, with through multiple organizations, which I don't want to name the organizations, but I was stuck with one particular point where I will not be existing once I reach my destination. That is where I was literally scared of. But once I reach the Advaita philosophy, okay, under the guidance of ISKCON and then Char Prabhuji, and Sharad Prabhuji, okay, I realized that individually I will be existing and I will continue my relationship with Krishna. Okay, so that is my personal realization after understanding the Vaishnava philosophy, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Yeah. And then unity versus the fourth theme which is being covered, unity versus plurality, the Jivatmas. This is very important philosophical point. Okay, it is all souls were literally, if all souls are literally identical and eternal one, then they would have the same qualities as Supreme Lord, but that is not at all possible, which means makes them equal to God, which is impossible. So what is truth? The truth is souls are eternally plural, means many, and they are unique, and they maintain their own relationship with Krishna. Okay, the same quality might be the same, okay, the conscious, but the quantity is completely varies. So these are very, very fundamentally very important points. Yesterday Charu Prabhuji has put so much efforts to explain all these philosophies to us, to move, to take our spiritual journey better. Yeah, so thank you, Charu Prabhuji, for this wonderful explanation yesterday from this slide and for this wonderful theme. So let us have one or two questions on this. Very simple question I'll ask. Everybody can answer this. How our Vaishnava philosophy is very different from the Advaita, especially on the soul identity. Prabhuji's, Mataji's. Anyone can answer this because you all have very fair understanding.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah.
So Vaishnava philosophy, we never want to merge with the God. Never want to become one with the God. We always want to serve the Lord, because we know
Perfect.
we are a very small part and parcel of His Ansha. We are qualitatively one with Him, but not quantitatively. So our life and many lives are always in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Instead of becoming the power, we want to serve the power.
Thank you, Mataji. Wonderful explanation. Thank you very much. So let's move to the next two themes. Okay. So the theme 5 is understanding Brahman. One thing, as Charya Prabhuji has mentioned, the Brahman, which is the source of all Jivatmas. Okay. So it is like, okay, each and every soul is connected. Okay. Connected to the souls. The Brahman is connected. At the same time, it is distinct from them. Okay. So understanding Brahman is fully beyond our human intelligence. Okay. That is what we have understood yesterday. And then the next theme, Vedic insights. Okay, the what is that? Kena Upanishad. Okay, is talking about that. Also, let us see on this particular topic, especially on Brahman. Now, if you believe that we understood Brahman, okay, your understanding is only partial. If you think that you can locate or define Brahman, our knowledge is very limited. This is what Kena Upanishad is saying. So even Devatas cannot understand. So what is our intelligence, Prabhuji's Mataji's? And then another sloka from Kena Upanishad 2.3 is saying, those who think that they know him, okay, do not know him. Yeah. Those who confess that they do not know him, truly know him. So the true understanding, okay, is actually to understand the Supreme is only through humility, Prabhuji's Mataji's, not through our intelligence or through our confidence. So this is what I understood. So God reveals himself through only humbleness, not through any of our false pride. Yeah, through our pride, proud. So that is what I understood from these particular themes. I'll just ask one simple question. Acknowledging our ignorance, does it help in our spiritual growth or not? If so, how does it help? Prabhuji's Mataji's. Hare Krishna. Acknowledging our ignorance,
Hare
does it
Krishna
help our
Prabhuji.
spiritual? Yeah.
So humility and surrender is the path for
Mm,
doing a little bit of devotional service. We
mm,
The realization that we are too insignificant, and we cannot, because also the realization that God is the Supreme Personality of God is beyond our little intelligence, and much higher. So unless and until it is His grace, or unless and until He wants us to know Him, we can't progress. So no matter how much endeavors we are making, it is only by
mm,
Lord's grace that we will get little, uh, will come little close to Him, otherwise not. And knowing that we are most insignificant uh, entity, and this humility, if we approach him in this with this humility, we might attract little bit of his grace. So humility is a very important element, and Lord doesn't like anyone who has even a bit of pride or envy in him. No matter what, who the devotees, even if the devotees are his gopis, he doesn't want even a tinge of pride in his devotees.
yeah.
His Lord himself is humility personification. So he doesn't
Mm.
want us to develop that particular quality.
Great
I feel
words.
so.
Great word,
Maybe.
great Mataji. Yeah, God himself, God, Krishna himself is is a representation of humanity. So humble, so humble. We have seen so many instances in Mahabharata and Ramayana. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So let's move on. Now we are moving to the next sloka, sloka 31. So the sloka 31 is the nature of Atman and its relation with Supreme. That is what we are seeing. So the first theme is eternal nature of Atman. We have got a wonderful explanation as yesterday again. The Atma is eternal, okay, and it is indestructible. That is what even the sloka is talking about, Bhagavati is talking about, and also the Bhagavad Gita is talking about. It does not take birth and does not, is no point of taking a die. So birth and death happens only to these upadhis. Okay. So these coverings are subjected to change and decay. Okay, decay. These are going to change. But Atma remains unchanged. That is what we have seen in this theme. The second theme, the next theme is second theme, distinctions between Atma and Upadhis. And it is very clear for all of us. Okay. Atma is a distinct from these coverings. The Atma is not produced from Prakriti. Okay. But it is came from Supreme Purusha. Okay. But these Upadhis, okay, are actually the coverings, okay, which is created from this material world. That is what we have seen from this second theme. And the third theme is liberation and removal of digestive coverings. The liberation occurs only, let us remember this very, very clearly, Prabhuji's Matajis. Liberation occurs only when the Jivatma's coverings and ignorance, okay, which is avidya, is completely dissolved. When this is really dissolved, then only we can go back to Godhead, Prabhuji's Matajis. Okay, that is what we understood in third thing. I'm going a bit fast because we all would like to hear from more from Char Prabhuji. Yeah. So let us understand the summary of this. Okay. Everybody can answer. Okay. What is the cause for the one of the key reason for this soul's bondages in this material world? Prabhuji's Mataji's. What is the main reason?
So the
Hare Krishna,
main
Prabhuji.
reason. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Yes.
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes, Prabhuji. Go on, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I will share mine and then you add. Yes. So the main reason, as I understand, is we Jivatma, we are pure Atman, but because of the conditioning, it is called Jivatma. And because we turn our face away from Krishna and we want to enjoy independently of Krishna, then
Perfect.
Krishna, being a very merciful Lord, he blesses us and make the arrangement for us. Sorry, Mataji.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah. Go ahead, Mataji.
And Jivatma is affected by these three modes of guna, sattva, rajatam, and this is this coverings, this suksham body, gross body, it's covering it, this is called upadhi. So that's why there is bondage, material bondage.
Bondage.
Jivatma.
Because we want to enjoy in this world. Yeah. 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 Thank you, Mataji. Let's move to the next sloka, next on the same another theme, that is fourth theme, types of dissolution concerning to Atmas. So here we have seen two types. One is basically complete dissolution and the other one is partial dissolution. These are the two types we have seen. What is complete dissolution? This occurs only when we have fully liberated. Okay. At this stage, gross body and subtle body. Okay. And the ignorance, okay, binding the Atma entirely completely is being dissolved. Okay, gross body, subtle body, and avidya, everything is dissolved. That is what is complete dissolution. And what is partial dissolution? And that is when you are in a susupsha, when you are in a deep sleep, a temporarily partial dissolution takes place. And also during cosmic dissolution, which is what? Pralaya. Okay, that happens partial dissolution. Again when the creation starts, again we come back. That is what is partial dissolution, which we have seen. And then fifth theme is, which we are talking about, philosophical analogies. So two philosophical analogies we have seen yesterday. One is bubble analogy, another one is river ocean analogy. Okay. So bubble analogy is being talked about interaction of Prakriti and Purusha. Material nature, which is Prakriti, and Supreme Purusha as interacting is compared with bubble forming in water. That is what we have seen yesterday. And then another analogy which we have seen is very important analogy, that is river ocean analogy. That is Atman going back to Supreme. That we call it as a river ocean analogy. Rivers merging into the ocean symbolizes the going back these individual Atmas to Supreme Source. But there is one small difference which we have to remember, Prabhuji's Matajis, is as rivers lost their names and forms, everything they will lose, right? But one point we have to remember, these Atmas, okay, shed their temporary identities. Means we only take off these temporary identifiers, okay? But this permanent relationship is still continues even after going back to Krishna, okay? That we have to remember, okay? The next one, which is very clearly mentioned, there are so many scriptural validations, especially whatever we understood, okay? Whichever point I have mentioned, okay? Setaswaram Upanishad, Mukunda, Mundaka Upanishad, okay? Okay, Chandogya Upanishad, all these things are explained that these scriptures are affirmed that Atma is unborn and it is an eternal. It is not created by Prakriti. So whatever we learned about the soul, even all these Upanishads also being reconfirmed to all of us. So let us see one question. Anybody wants to just very quickly compare what is his complete and partial dissolution with your own words? Yeah. And then we'll move to the next sloka.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, go ahead.
Complete dissolution means we have to drop our gross body with a subtle body.
Yeah.
And partial dissolution means only we drop our gross body and we enter in the other body with subtle body.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mataji. And also deep sleep, certain examples, okay, for partial. Okay. So let's move to the next sloka, Prabhuji's, Mataji's. Okay, I'm trying to go as ill as possible. I'll try to complete.
No, take it
The
easy.
next
Don't rush yourself.
Okay, okay, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu. So the sloka 32, that is liberation through devotion. Okay. So liberation through devotion, I'll try to summarize through Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Okay. Summaries, I will try to do that. Liberation through devotion. That, see here, liberation through devotion, this is very important theme here. It is being explained that. Let us understand the examples from the Puranas, what Vishnu Purana is taking, what Ramana is talking about, what Bhagavad Gita is talking about. Let us understand little from these themes and see how do you inculcate the devotion from among everybody, from among all of us. Now let us see what is that Vishnu Purana is talking about. Okay. It is emphasizing that necessity of unwavering devotion in all circumstances. It is emphasizing that no matter the form of life or the situation, okay, it is saying Vishnu Purana is telling the importance, okay, and guiding the every jiva for the importance of the spiritual path. Okay, let us see what Raman is talking about. It is actually demonstrating even a sincere act, whatever we are doing for Lord Ramachandra. Okay, yeah, and he is protected. Okay, there are so many instances in Ramayana. Even a small creatures helped Sri Ramachandra. Sri Ramachandra has acknowledged those creatures. Yeah, that we could clearly see. Yeah, and Bhagavad Gita is gave so much explanation about um, this particular topic. Is it reveals that Krishna's divine material energy, which is Maya, is so powerful and it is difficult to overcome. That is what is mentioned in 7.14. But however, complete surrender, okay, enables the devotee to transcend the material bondage so effortlessly. Okay. Prabhuji's Mataji's, do you think this surrendering is so easy? Okay, for this material brain? No, it is not at all easy. We have to understand what is the surrender. Okay. We have to start spending time, okay, with the devotees. We have to start spending time, quality time with Shastras under the guidance of our Guru. Okay, our Siksha Gurus and our Diksha Gurus. Through those understanding, we can start, once we start spending 1% time, 2% time, 5%, 10%, 20%, in the same way what Charu Prabhuji is doing today, he is completely dedicated. He is giving 100% to Bhagavatam. to devotees, to divine couple. So this kind of elevation will come to all of us, Prabhuji's Matajis. So we should start spending that quality time. Then that surrender will come. Just by saying, yeah, I have to surrender, it will not come. We have to start following the footsteps of our gurus. We may not be able to see our Diksha gurus, but we have to follow, okay, the gurus who are there, okay, around us. Yeah, Hare Krishna. So this is what is Bhagavad Gita is talking about. Now let us understand Narada Pancharatna. Narada Pancharatna is also saying, illuminates the material nature of Jivatmas, position between the matter and spirit. It highlights Jivatma's limitless potential for spiritual elevation through bhakti. Everywhere you see bhakti, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Yesterday, okay, with my little small congregation, where we are studying with the canto 2, the Prabhupada is explaining, this is all so secret knowledge in one of the sloka, I think in 10th chapter. So Prabhupada is telling this is all secret knowledge. You are also fortunate to understand this knowledge, that devotion is the highest. That is what is Prabhupada is explaining. With a 6 pages purport he has given in one of the sloka. Okay, so the next one is Brahad Aranyaka Upanishad. Okay, this is also talking about compares the individual souls to sparks that produce from fire. This is what this particular Upanishad is talking about. And then Gopala Tapani Upanishad is talking about, highlights the supreme importance of pure selfless devotion to Krishna. That is what this particular Upanishad is talking about. See, if we talk about Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Ramayana, all these scriptures are talking about the underlying theme is one thing, Prabhuji's Mataji's. That is devotion, the bhakti. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So let us see one or two questions on this. Let us see one or two questions, Prabhuji's Mataji's, on this. Why do you think, okay, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or everybody, all our acharyas, okay, talked about multiple scriptures and been explained to on this particular topic, Prabhuji's Mataji's? Everyone can answer this. Everyone can participate.
These are the Shastra Pramanas. So
Yeah.
one can कोई ऐसे सामने सवाल नहीं पूछ सकता कि ये आप अपने आप से बोल रहे हो. ये सब प्रमाण है, प्रमाणित है. That's why they are giving us this instruction.
Right, correct.
On the basis
Yeah,
of this Shastra.
The basis. See,
Yeah.
different
And it
people
is
have
coming,
different.
it is
Go
coming
ahead.
through Guru Shishya Parampara. No? This
Guru
knowledge
Shishya Parampara.
has been
Correct.
transcended.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Every Shastra, this has been covered. It is because a person like me may like Ramayana. A person like some other may like Bhagavad Gita. Another person may like Bhagavatam. Or someone else may like some Upanishads. When everything is being covered, all these Shastra, right? Somebody is so fascinated about particular Shastra and take that particular Shastra and going back to Godhead. That is the one of the core reason where the Upanishads, okay, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, okay, Puranas, okay, everything is underlining is talking about this devotion, Prabhuji's Mataji's. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Let's move to the next sloka, which is sloka number 33. That is importance of Guru Bhakti and controlling the mind. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji's Mataji's, he will not, this is the one, this is a personal instruction for me actually. This is sloka is. So I was always understanding that even I am doing my japa, I am listening Shastra, okay, Saturday, Sunday with all of you from the Char Prabhuji and Sarah Prabhuji with all the devotees. And also doing my little congregation is also there. Over there we are doing Adhyananga Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. But still, I'm just checking myself yesterday when the Chad Prabhuji is talking about this topic is what is how much I'm able to control my mind. I could clearly see I'm not able to control my mind, Prabhuji's Mataji's. The core reason for that, I realized is What is my dependency with my Guru Maharaj? How much I am requesting my Guru Maharaj? What is my connection with Guru Maharaj? And how much I am connecting with him? Okay, I could clearly see that from this sloka that I cannot control myself, this mind. I have to depend upon my Guru Maharaj, my Guru, my Siksha Guru, my Diksha Guru, Diksha Gurus. I have to depend on them. So the importance of Guru Bhakti is so much important in controlling our mind. What is our nature of the mind, Prabhuji Mataji? Everybody know. The mind is like a horse, impetuous horse, restless, easily distracted, okay, and extremely difficult to control. Yeah, it is very difficult. So, what is role of spiritual master? So the self emphasize that it has been this slide emphasize that self effort alone is insufficient to control the mind. This is the one of the most important takeaway for me, Prabhuji's Matajis. So everybody in this group also should pray our Guru Maharaj that I am not capable. Please show some mercy to control this mind. Yeah, we have to depend. Without surrendering to qualified spiritual master, yesterday Prabhuji has clearly emphasized this to all of us. Okay. Attempts to stabilize the mind fails to become, and it becomes frustration to all of us. So the Guru presence provides a direction to all of us. It removes obstacles. Okay. This is very important. And Guru mercy protects, okay, from falling down from the spiritual pitfalls. Okay. That is what we are. So Guru Bhakti is a key to success, key to make progress. Yeah, Hare Krishna. So that is what we understood this from this particular slide. Yeah. Maybe from your words, I would like to understand, okay, why Guru Bhakti is so essential from your own words, Prabhuji's Mataji. And then we'll move to the next slide. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada. Guru Bhakti is most essential element because अगर उनके ऊपर हमारी निष्ठा नहीं होगी, गुरु निष्ठा नहीं होगी हमारी, तो हम प्रगति नहीं कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि वो जो भी नॉलेज भगवान के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है वो, और इसी वजह से वो हमारे लाइफ में भी आए कि हमारा उद्धार हो सके. अगर हम उनकी जो वाणी है उनको अच्छे से फॉलो करते हैं, गुरु आज्ञा को, तो हमारा प्रोग्रेस निश्चित है. जैसे जैसे वो कहते हैं वो ऐसे हम करते हैं तो हम हमारी जर्नी में आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. अदरवाइज इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट बिकॉज अभी आपने बोला आवर माइंड इज नॉट एट ऑल स्टेबल, तो कुछ भी हम अपने आप से नहीं कर सकते हैं भक्ति.
नहीं कर सकते. Got it. Thank you.
It is a reliable source. Guru is the mediator to reach God.
To reach God, we have to depend on our Guru. Yeah.
And Prabhuji, maybe many times we may not get personal instructions from our Guru Maharaj. Vapu Sang may not be possible, but with Vani Sang, okay, one can take the shelter of Guru Maharaj.
We have to follow the all instructions which is given by our Guru Maharaj. We have to follow.
It helps us to keep our steadiness in our spiritual journey and control our mind. Whenever we are upset, we can take his help. A true Guru is the picture of God, actually.
The representation of God. Yeah.
Representation of God.
So,
Thank you.
गुरुजी, भक्त भक्ति भगवान गुरु, चतुर नाम वपु एक. वो 4 नाम है मगर एक ही वपु है. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर मैं यहाँ बैठी हूँ तो अगर याद करते हैं गुरु महाराज को कोई ना कोई संकेत हमें मिल सकता है, कोई ना कोई इंस्ट्रक्शन किसी न किसी द्वारा हमें मिल सकती है, क्योंकि वो गुरु वो है, कोई पर्सन नहीं है. इट इज एटर्नल, सब जगह है उनका तत्व.
Oh,
Thank you.
Prabhuji, as Mataji said, so the material world is like an endless ocean, and the mind of a, like if you can we can compare the mind of a Jivatma like the waves of the ocean, which are very strong, but and we get lost easily in the material ocean. But when there is an anchor, the anchor is Guru. When there is an
Anchor is
anchor, we
Guru.
get a direction. So
Yes.
this
Yes.
direction is important. Otherwise, we'll be there in the material ocean throughout,
Yes.
wandering.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See, when it comes to the Guru, everybody is trying to add the points. Okay. That is the strength of this particular group. Okay. We are all very, very strongly connected to Charu Prabhuji and Sharad Prabhu, at least in this congregation for sure. And then we all connected to our Diksha Gurus. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for adding the points. Let's move to the next slide. Okay. This again talking about different shastras. Okay. From VCT. Let us go to the next sloka, that is sloka 34. That is
Hare
the
Krishna,
supremacy of Bhakti.
sorry.
Prabhu.
So because in discussion of Guru, then I don't want to miss that opportunity. So I
Yeah,
just
please,
want to
Prabhu.
glorify just one line. Like
Your
I think-
voice is very low, Prabhu. We don't want to
Is
miss
it-
your words.
Is it okay?
Now good, Prabhu. Now
Yeah,
slightly
so
better, Prabhu.
I don't want to miss the opportunity to glorify the Guru, so that's nice.
Yes.
So yeah, I think also everybody said so nice one, but one thing is also, and not but sorry, and one like Guru is more merciful than the Lord, right? Like we cannot know the Lord without mercy of the Guru. Like starting with the acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, so much effort they did so that we can have Bhagavatam and Chaitanya. So that is one thought I had. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Guruji, most
Hari-
important thing of if our guru is happy, समझ लो कृष्णा भी happy है. खुश है
Hari
हम.
bol. Hari bol. Hari.
Yeah,
Very
just
nice.
now
Thank you.
Prabhuji said Guru Tattva is Lord Balramji and also Nityanand, and we know how Nityanand Prabhu is so merciful.
So merciful.
जिन्होंने जगाई मदाई का उद्धार किया है ना. So yeah, so there lies the importance of our Guru, spiritual master.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody for adding your points. Very good. So let's move to the next sloka, sloka 34. That is talking about the supremacy of bhakti over material attachments. So here we have three themes, that is supreme joy in bhakti, and then detachment from the material desires, and fleeting nature of sense enjoyment. Okay. Here, okay, in all these three themes, we understand that supreme joy in bhakti, the true happiness comes only immersing oneself in the presence of Supreme Lord. Prabhuji's, Mataji's, it is very easy to tell through words, but everybody has to enjoy. Okay, that enjoyness come when you leave everything in this world, Prabhuji's, Mataji's. You take your japa beat back, go to a place, think that you switch off everything and sit in front of Krishna and start doing japa. Try to pronounce every single word, then you will feel that is a real world Prabhuji's Mataji's. It is not possible for anybody to explain. Everybody has to feel that. I could clearly see the joy of Charu Prabhuji's when he's drafting these themes and publishing PPT by PPT and chapter by chapter, chapter by chapter. It is not possible. He is literally completely immersed in bhakti and enjoying that. Yeah. Then only it is possible. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think yeah, I'm not worthy of that kind of praise, glorification, because my inspiration comes from all of you together, because if it were just for my own case, I would not have been able to do these things, because you're all with me, and that's the reason, I consider it's a Lord's mission, and my Guru Maharaj gave a special order
Yeah.
at the time of my initiation. The Charu Chandra, I want you to learn Shastra and then teach others, So that is the mission of my Guru Maharaj, actually. Haribo.
This is all helping everybody, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Yeah. So detached from the material desires and fleeting from the nature of sense enjoyment. So unless you connect to bhakti, these two will not take off. Okay. So you need to have the higher taste, Prabhuji's Mataji's. So that is what I would try to, okay, through that I will try to conclude, okay, the other themes and try to move on. Hare Krishna. The next theme, which is talking about the illusion of material happiness. So we all know that Prabhuji's Mataji's, okay, material happiness, it is very, very temporary, very, very short, very, very short. And then the last theme, which has been talking about the scriptural support. Okay, so we have to understand the support. We need to take the support of our scriptures. The scriptures strong support the idea that the devotion bhakti is far more valuable than these material things. That is what is being talked about. Yeah. So many of the Upanishad talking about Brahut Aranya Upanishad and Gopala Tapani Upanishad is also talking about the supremacy of bhakti over the material attachments. Yeah. So I would like to ask one question here. Why bhakti is being superior to any of these material attachments or any of the other things which is the different paths, Prabhuji's, Mataji's? Okay, according to your own words, everybody can answer this. Yeah, it's a very, very generic question. Radha
Hare
Vinod
Krishna,
Prabhu, you want to
Prabhuji.
try? Hare Krishna Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
Prabhuji,
Raksha
you want
Mataji.
to try? Please carry on otherwise.
No, go
Radha
ahead. Go
Vinod
ahead.
Prabhuji.
First you try, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, as we are pure soul, आत्मा, we are सच्चिद आनंद. तो अगर हम आनंद कण है तो अगर भगवान तो आनंद का सागर है. अगर हम उनसे जुड़ते हैं तो हमें आनंद मिलने ही वाला है 100%. वो आनंद हम बाहर ढूंढ रहे हैं जो मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में, वो मिलने वाला नहीं है. तब थोड़ा सा मिलेगा मगर फिर वो वापस हम अपने वो ओरिजिनल जो मिजरी वाला स्टेट है उसमें ही आ जाते हैं. तो बहुत ही जरूरी है कि हम भगवान से जुड़े, तो क्योंकि वो भी सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप है, हम इतने भी छोटे भी सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप में ही है. तो हम अगर उनसे जुड़ते हैं तो हमें कंप्लीट आनंद मिलने की संभावना है अगर हम गुरु शिष्य परंपरा में जुड़े रहेंगे तो. दैट्स व्हाई भक्ति इज टॉप मोस्ट.
Very good point.
Super.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good
Very good.
point.
Very-
Raksha Mataji.
Yeah.
Let's hear from
Thank
Radha
you.
Vinod Prabhuji. Is he there?
Yeah,
Radha
no,
Vinod?
Prabhuji, she nailed very
He
nicely. I was
has
just
some
coming up.
wonderful points all the time, you know.
Yeah, so she nailed very nicely. So in a material world, as we understand, all there's a limitation. Satchit Anand. We need everybody wants happiness. When happiness comes, you have to connect to the source, which is unlimited. That's what the Mataji just now mentioned, right? You connect with that. And how you connect with the Lord? We connect with the bhakti because that's only authorized process which is given. You connect with that. There's no other jnanas and all that we are studying here, right? It doesn't take you anywhere. Right. So Shrutis denied that. So connecting with the Lord is eternal, and the Lord also reciprocate. It's not only He gives a bhakti and leaves us, He reciprocates. So every love is not one-sided. Love also needs a reciprocation because we are at that lower level. So as Mataji said, that is the only thing. Why not connect with who is an unlimited source, never exhausting? He can satisfy all sorts of desire, all five rasas, right? Prabhuji, Charu Prabhuji was talking about that he only can satisfy. That is why connecting, connect to the Lord gives us all that. That's what also I feel it. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Wonderful point. Thank you. So let's move to the next sloka, last sloka, that is the path of devotee abounding the material attachments for spiritual realization. Yeah. So let us see what are the different themes it is been talking about. Renunciation of material attachment and the power of Lord's lotus feet and the significance of sacred cities. Yeah. So here it is been talking the first theme. The devotee willingly give up worldly possessions, comforts, and even family ties to seek inner peace and spiritual growth. Prabhuji's Mataji's, I have seen many devotees who gave up everything after completion of their responsibility, staying in Vrindavan and doing 128 malas. Yeah, every day. What is that they have done? They gave up all these material attachments, Prabhuji's Mataji's. The power of Lord's lotus feet, mediating or worshipping the Lord's lotus feet gives a devotee's immense spiritual strength. Yeah, this is what the Shastra is talking about, Prabhuji's Mataji's. The next one is significance of sacred cities. According to Gopala Tapani Upanishad, the holy cities like Mathura are not only ordinary places, they are not ordinary places. Okay, they grant spiritual fulfillment and liberation. Okay, Mathura is like a gateway to the divine connection. Yeah, that is what we have seen in this slide. Let's move to the next slide. That is next slide is what is that? Meditation on the supreme form. This is very important, Prabhuji's Mataji's. We cannot meditate in the impersonal forms. We have to meditate. You go and see, take the darshan of Lord in our temples. It could be in Hyderabad, Vrindavan, Madhura, and then remember those deity forms and meditate on that supreme form. Yeah, that is what is this particular theme is talking about. Okay, I'll just ask one simple question. Why all the Shastras talk about Lord's lotus feet, Prabhuji's Mataji? So I would like to hear from your own words. Yeah. Hare Krishna. What is so special about Lord's lotus feet? It's a very generic question.
Prabhuji, so
Meditation
let me
becomes
start.
very easy. Sorry.
Go ahead,
brother.
Mataji. You go ahead.
As-
Go ahead. I'll add it later. Please go ahead.
Okay. Meditation to see the Lord feet, the meditation becomes very deep meditation and continuous meditation we can do, and we get rasa when we worship, seeing Krishna feet, we feel rasa in our heart. So I think I have felt this idea,
Thank
these
you,
feelings.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Dadaji.
So, yeah, this is a very good question, and Charuparji can add it. My understanding is that the surrender, you do not surrender to the face of the Lord. You do not surrender chest of the Lord. You surrender where you surrender. The lowest portion of that is the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the one. So you look at that, if the Lord's lotus feet, that is where we surrender, where we keep your head to that. So it's an absolute surrender. That is the one indication. Lotus feet of the Lord is meditated by yogis also. It has got chakras and all that. Like technically, when you can go as much as you want, right? And it says that wherever the Lord, how he bless, Lord bless by putting his hand or by putting his lotus feet. Which one is greater? Wherever the Lord put his lotus feet, that is the greater. Again, example you can you can see many other examples onto that, right? So the way I understand, that is the absolute surrender. We have to surrender to the Lord, and that is the place. It starts with that, and then as we say, go to the temple. You start from lotus feet, go gradually up and up. You are not supposed to go, right? So this is the beginning, and if the lotus feet is so blissful, so everything, so think of then higher. There is no end limit. Lord's mercy, Lord's enjoyment, there is no limit. Everything keeps on adding one more. So start with the lower. If you are there itself, stand. What about going to the up on other parts of the Lord, right? So that's what I see that, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. May I add some
Yes,
point?
Mataji.
भगवान के जो नख चंद्रिका है, भगवान की जो नख है, नेल्स, वो लाल लाल है. उनमें से जो एक किरण निकलते हैं, जो नख चंद्रिका बोलते हैं, वो हमें इतना मतलब वो हमारी भक्ति के लिए इतना पावरफुल है. हम उन पे ही मेडिटेट करें अगर, तो हम भगवान के शरणागत ज्यादा हो सकते हैं. और दूसरे कि भगवान के जो फूट में जो जितने भी 48 चिन्ह हैं, उनमें से 4 चिन्ह है बहुत बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. अंकुश, वज्र, ध्वजा और पद्म. अगर हम उन पे भी मेडिटेट करते हैं तो हमारी भक्ति में आगे प्रोग्रेस हो सकती है. भगवान प्रभु जी.
Thank you, Mataji. This is a new point I learned today. Yeah, another new point. Thank you, Mataji. With that, I will
sorry.
conclude the recap.
I need you
Yeah.
to wrap it up now.
Yeah, I am done, Prabhu. Okay, yeah. With that, I'm concluding the recap. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
All
Thank
right.
you for this opportunity.
I'm sorry, Prabhuji. Thank you
No
very
problem.
much.
I'm done. Yeah.
Haribol. Again, please accept my humble obeisances, all Lord Shri Prabhupada, and all of you. So let me share my screen with you first. Sorry about just a minute. Share. Yes. Now, why it's not sharing? I don't understand.
No, it came, Prabhu.
Yeah, we are
We-
able to see, but you
We are able to
expand
see,
that.
Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just make it in a slideshow, Prabhu. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, slides.
Yeah, okay.
He has to enlarge also, right? Yeah.
Now it is coming up. Is it to come?
Yes,
It
yes.
is came. Yeah, we are able
Yeah.
to see it now. The slideshow. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
But
Thank you.
the other thing, I don't get to see your faces. So why it's just showing the screen, my PowerPoint only showing. Oh. Okay. Okay. Sorry about just 1 minute. Okay. Just bear with me. For some reason, either I see this. Oh, now it's coming both now. Okay, good. Sorry about that. So now let me share again. Okay. All right. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, Vaiji. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu. It came up, Prabhu.
So again, I updated this slide every time. Even just before the class, I had been working on this thing. So I changed a little bit in the last this lesson 133 A and B. Previously, verses 36 to all the way up to 41 were there, and 33b, 133b, there are only 12 slides. So what I did to sort of equalize, so that I don't have to rush too much, And besides, today's class 133a, most important verse is 36. Just like previously, verse 25 was very important, very deep philosophy. So 36 is also very deep philosophy. So we'll spend bulk of my time on the verse 36. And there are many slides for that, So here's that slide that I show you every time, and every time I do it, I update all this thing as we make progress. So now we are here, lesson 133a, okay, and there is the sixth part of it. And here the subject matter is nature of the supreme, Vedic insights into the infinite glories and incomprehensibility of the Supreme Personality God. This incomprehensibility, very difficult to really understand completely. No one can understand because load is unlimited, you know. So that is probably going to be now going to be in 33B, 133B, you know, which we'll do it next week. So, so here is this overview of this lesson 36, 37, 38, 39. As I said, this 36 is a very, very deep philosophy. And here the title is Reconciling Contradictions, the Philosophical Discourse on Sat versus Asat Karyavada. In fact, this philosophy on Sat and Asat Karyavada that we discussed a while ago, in fact, the whole class was devoted to that, you know. So here the issue is here. What is the issue here? Why the contradictions are there? Let me first read the verse itself, because it's very important we understand this verse. Okay, so the verse is pretty long. It may be proposed, the Shrutis are saying that this world is permanently real because it is generated from permanent reality. But there is a difference of opinion about that. Okay, but such an argument is subject to logical refutation that could be challenged. So when I read this verse, I was surprised to myself. Shrutis themselves, among themselves, they are on the opposite side, diametrically opposite side. So how could that be possible? You know, so let me read the verse and part of the purport, okay? So that first we'll see what is the problem there and how it is solved by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, giving quite a few nice examples on that. So it may be proposed that this world is permanently real because it is generated from the permanent reality. So somebody who is real, permanent, eternal, Lord Shri Krishna is eternal. So anything he generates, that also ought to be eternal. And that is the Sat Karyavada, cause and effect. When the cause is something, the effect is already buried within the cause itself. You know, there's a father son. We'll see these analogies also. You know, but this could be challenged. Shrutis are pointing out, and among themselves, they're diametrically opposite. And yet, actually, we know Shrutis, Vedas, there is a built-in ambiguity is there, and that is for a reason. You know. And they are context driven. None of them are wrong. Both of them could be right. And here purport will say, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's purport, that how could that be? Both of them could be right when they are diametrically opposite. So that is the point that I want to get across. It took several days for me to read again and again and again for me to understand that point, you know. And that's why I'm telling you, just like verse 25, we're going to have to spend more time on this verse alone. So today we'll be talking about verse 36, 37, 38, 39 only. Okay. Previously I had planned all the way up to 41. So again, I'm reading the verse again. So such an argument is subject to logical refutation. That means check could be challenged. Sometimes, indeed, the apparent non-difference of a cause and its effect fail to prove true. At other times, the product of something real is illusory. See, that's the problem. Furthermore, this world cannot be permanently real, for it partakes of the natures of not only the absolute reality, but also the illusion disguising that reality. Actually, the invisible forms of this world just an imaginary arrangement resorted to by a successive ignorant persons in order to facilitate their material affairs with their various meanings. Don't worry about it. We are going to dissect that verse in 3-4 divisions, okay? And because it's a common understanding. When the task is too big and too complex, what you need to do is to break it into smaller units that are manageable. That is the way to approach when we are dealing with a difficult task. In a limited time we have to break it into smaller unit so that we can handle it. So this verse, what I try to do, the way I understood it, break it into several segments. So continuing, actually the visible form of this world are just an imaginary arrangement resorted to by a succession of ignorant persons in order to facilitate their material affairs. Blind leading blind. When somebody is wrong, and if it keeps repeating, see, that's what they say. Sometimes untruth, lies, if they are repeated enough number of times, people begin to think, accept it as truth. That's what happens. With their various meanings and implications, the learned words of your Vedas bewilder all persons whose minds have been dulled by hearing the incantations of sacrificial rituals. So here, the Vedas, the Shrutis themselves, remember there we are listening the commentaries, the glorification of 28 major Shrutis in this whole entire chapter. And every 28 of those Shrutis, we've been going through verse by verse, actually. So, diametrically opposite. And yet, there is some kind of a reconciliation, and we'll see how it is done. So let me read part of the commentary. The commentary is pretty long. I'm not going to be able to read all, but some segments of it I will read as we go along. So first part of it, explaining, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining the Shrutis are opposing each other. How is it that possible? And diametrically opposite. Someone may object, but how can you criticize the home for taking away the good qualities from of men? That is verse 34. And at the same time praise the home for giving men good qualities. So like that, if a man is coming from good home, we think that must be the glory, that something must be special in that person, right? Then that home is good. But at the same time, when somebody said, no, that person is, something is wrong with that person. Okay, they criticize that the owner of that home, and yet they glorify the home. So it is that kind of issue we are talking about now. The Shrutis are subscribing to diametrically opposite viewpoints among themselves. Okay, so they seem to agree both are right, but both cannot be right. How is it possible? That defies our common understanding. So the example is given here. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur always gives some kind of analogies for us to understand. So it is like a mirage. Okay, you've seen that in a very hot day, sun's very, very scorching heat is there, and you see a mirage, right? So mirage is like that. It's coming like a water cloud is there. Okay, and we know that there is no water in it. So that's what that analogy is bringing. It cannot be said that a mirage of water is both dry. There is no real water. We all know that, right? And yet there is a thirst quenching possibilities there. How is it that possible? How? When there is no moisture, there is no water in it, it just gives an illusion. How could it satisfy, quench your thirst? So it is like this ambiguity. The Shrutis that now the issue is here. Okay, so we'll come across this philosophical point: Sat Karyavada, Asat Karyavada, cause and effect. Okay, Sat is that which is meaning is eternal here. Okay, Sat is also means truth, but here the meaning is eternal. This world is manifested because the Supreme Lord, Paramatma, and He is always Sat, Sat Chit Ananda, right? Eternal. But how could that be from the eternal? What is Sat Karyavada says that effect is already there within the cause. So the cause is eternal. The effect, this material world, has got to be real and eternal. Okay? That is called Sat Karyavada. Karyavada means its effect, And the other viewpoint, opposing viewpoint, is that it's not so necessarily. And both are defending their beliefs. The one who is saying that this world is also eternal because the cause is eternal, and that is this Karma Mimamsa people, okay? And we'll be, I've decided to give I already almost done with the 2 lessons, that we will do it as soon as we complete 10th canto. Before we begin 11th canto, these 2 lessons we'll do over 1 weekend. And I believe we have, if one we can do, we'll be finishing as per our present schedule. 14th of December will be done. And I was planning to do immediately next weekend, 11th canto, but then before we start, we'll take 1 weekend off and we will do this Shad Sandarbha, okay, that I promised you, all of you. So here, let me read, continue reading this purport. The Shrutis that adhere, who subscribe to the philosophy of Sat Karyavada, and I told you what is Sat Karyavada. If the cause is eternal, then the effect also has got to be eternal. Cause is Supreme Lord, the effect is the manifestation of the cosmic world, okay? Cosmic manifestation. That the universe is the real manifestation of Brahman, speaks in agreement with the Shrutis who adhere to Asat Karyavada. Asat Karyavada means what? The philosophy that this universe is unreal. This universe is not real, saying that the visible world, idam Vishwam, this world, this cosmic manifestation is permanently real because it is generated from the permanent reality. It's Sat Karyavada, but not that it is Sat. So how they are saying that exactly? The Sat Karyavada, that it is because of the Maya, the curtain of ignorance, even though it is not, you think it is real, but it's not real. But we think it is real, it's wrong because of the Maya's curtain, ignorance, avidya. That's how they're saying. Okay. Again, I'll read it to repeat just to make that point clear. Sat Karyavada is that the universe is real manifestation of the Brahman, speaks in agreement with the Shrutis who adhere to Asat Karyavada. The philosophy that this universe is unreal, saying that the visible world is permanently real because it is generated from the permanent reality, eternal reality, Shri Krishna, but not that it is Sat, permanent in its own right. By itself, it is not permanent because the Supreme Lord is eternal. Just as a part when resolved to its cause, is not a part, but merely the reality expressing it through the part. Part is made by clay, okay? The clay is there, okay? But clay is when converted to part, the clay does not disappear. It is there. Clay is the cause of that part, okay? The cause is there, but you cannot see it in the part once the part is made. Similarly, the gold and the ornaments made of these gold ornaments made up from the gold. The gold is the cause, okay? But you don't see the gold and such ornaments, different shape and form is there. Milk and yogurt, okay? And same with later on, the Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also gives the knowledge of father and son. Like we always say, father like son, right? But not necessarily always. So the Sat Karyavada and Asat Karyavada we'll be talking in a greater detail. So let me go through my slides, okay? So we are going to be talking how to reconcile, how to make sense. How is that this Shrutis can subscribe to such diametrically opposite viewpoints? So that is the whole verse 36 philosophy. Bulk of the time we'll be spending there. Then verse 37 is grasping the illusory essence of the universe. Grasping means to try to comprehend, to understand, to realize the illusory essence of the universe. Because we are talking about avidya, right? Verse 38, this illusion of material existence. In this material world, is it real or not? Mayavadis say that it is Jagan Mithya, Brahma Satyam. And Vaishnava says, no, it is real, but it's temporary. That's the different point. Vaishnava philosophy is called, that also we discussed about it, Parinamvada, result of it, Parinam means result. Parinamvada philosophy is opposed to the Mayavadi philosophy, Vivartavada, Text 39, the perils of incomplete renunciation and material desire. Now, this is a topic somewhat totally different from the other first three verses, but we'll talk about it. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the Satkaryavada and Asatkaryavada. As I told you that I took quite a whole class. I gave that on that in the beginning of this 10th canto. But for you, we will review it. So let's go through this slide slowly. Okay. So this is how Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is making an attempt to reconcile diametrically opposite arguments, and both can be right. How does he do that? So this is the philosophical discourse on Sat versus Asat Karyavada. Sat means eternal. Lord is eternal, so he is the cause, and this material world is the effect. Karyavada. Okay. So one school says that one who is eternal, and we are coming from the eternal material world, material universe, so that also got to be eternal. But we fail to see the eternality because of the avidya. Okay. The other person says, no, that's not true. So that's the point we are talking about in this next couple of slides. Okay. So Shruti's dilemma. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tackles this intricate challenge, how the Shrutis can simultaneously uphold seemingly contradictory perspectives, diametrically opposite, within the discourse on Sat, that is reality, eternity, versus Asat, which is non-reality. Karyavada. Karyavada is the effect, the theory of effect. So this conundrum, this kind of a dichotomy, highlights a profound philosophical hurdle, very difficult, in interpreting this ancient wisdom, suggesting that truth may transcend a binary framework. So binary argument is there. How do we derive the truth? Because general thinking, we think only one must be right. Both cannot be wrong. Both cannot be right. But there are instances both can be right. Again, it's a context driven. I told you that. It emphasizes the necessity for a nuance means there are issues with it, not clear cut. Understanding to harmonize. How do we harmonize? Make some kind of reconciliation. That's harmonization. Holistic view. Those opposing views, thus presenting an intellectual pursuit that beckons, that means that explains the deeper inquiry, that leads us to the deeper inquiry. So here the Satkaryavada is explained a little bit in a briefly, theory of real effects. So definition, Satkaryavada asserts, it subscribes, it explains that effects, karya is effect, are intrinsically real because they emerge from a genuine cause. Sat is genuine cause, eternity. Everything in existence is seen as the manifestation of an enduring underlying reality. Reality is again Supreme Lord. He is real. Somebody who is real, how could unreal things can come from him? So philosophical implication. Proponents, those who are supporting that the cause is eternal, so the effect must be also eternal, real. Those are the proponents. But then there is no opponent who refuses that this world is not real. Okay. And again, there's a difference of opinion. Real in the what sense? Comparative sense, is it it's real, but it is not permanent. So we are talking about a sense of permanency. It's cyclically created, maintained for some time, and then annihilated. That we all know about that. So that is the Vaishnava viewpoint. And the other side of the argument is this karma mimamsa philosophy. So how could both be right? So philosophical implication. Proponents contend that since the universe originates from the eternal reality, Brahman, so here they are talking about Brahman, but we all know that it is the Paramatma, Bhagavan. Its existence is both valid and substantial. Both are valid and substantial. How could that be? For instance, if gold serves as the cause, then the ornaments fashioned from gold, the effect of it, are recognized as authentic expression of that cause. Okay. The gold nuggets we don't see, but the gold is transformed into ornaments. But nevertheless, that is made of the gold. Okay. So that's first part of it. The key argument, the material world is often perceived as a continuous eternal manifestation of the foundational reality, the Supreme God. This perspective resonates with specific interpretations of the Vedas that view the material realm is fundamentally intertwined with ultimate truth. Continuing next slide. So we are going to go now both sides of the argument. Okay, asat, sat, asat, sat karyavada and asat karyavada. Asat karyavada says that some, and so far the cause is eternal, but the product, the effect, one school says it also has got to be eternal. The other school said no, it is not eternal. You know. So theory of unreal effect, that's the Asat Karyavada. Definition, Asat Karyavada posits that effects are illusory and lack the enduring reality associated with their cause. This standpoint argues that the material world is devoid of the permanence that characterize its source. So that is Asat Karyavada. Okay. In philosophical implication, although the world may present itself as real, it's merely a transient manifestation that cannot be regarded as eternally substantial. The impermanence of forms and phenomena is a cornerstone of this philosophy. So that is the Asat Karyavada. Now, how do we explain that? So the key argument here is that the Asat Karyavada challenges the notion that the world derived from Sat can rightly be equated with Sat itself, suggesting that the illusion born from ignorance. So it is, as I explained you earlier, from Sat, this material, this eternal, from the Supreme Lord, this material world has got to be eternal, but it's not reality. It's not eternal, real in a reality. So why do we say that? So that is because of the avidya. Now that avidya portion of the argument is supported by both opponents, and that we'll see how. With some analogies, it will become easier to understand. Analogies given by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Contrasting philosophies. So contrasting means one school is supporting this Asat Karyavada, and the other school, the Vaishnava school, is supporting Sat Karyavada. Okay, so contrasting philosophies. Karma Vimamsa will be, as I told you, I'll give you a class on Shat Darshana. One of that philosophy, school of philosophy, is Karma Mimamsa, who believe just performing karmas, everything is there, nothing beyond that. Enjoy the best while you can, then nothing beyond that. So, and the other is opposing is the Vaishnava philosophy. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur draws illuminating contrast between Karma Mimamsa and Vaishnava philosophy to showcase the distinct approaches to duty, action, and the divine. Karma Mimamsa underscores the significance of rituals. So this is the Karma Mimamsa people, they say that they believe only ritualistic actions, karma, according to dharma, what dharma dictates. Okay, if you perform that, you'll be able to go to higher worlds. First, in this world, you enjoy, and then heavenly planets also you'll enjoy. There's nothing beyond than that. That's what they're saying. And action in determining dharma according to moral grounds, moral and ethical grounds. If you perform that as per the Vedic injunctions, then you are good, without necessarily appealing to the personal deity. They don't even subscribe to that personal deity. Conversely, opposing, the Vaishnava philosophy places devotion to a person God. Okay, and its core, integrating bhakti as essential to the relationship with the divine. So that now all of you are quite understand very clearly. So this comparison not only highlights but also celebrates the rich diversity within Vedic philosophical traditions and their varied approaches to ethics and spirituality, thereby enlightening the reader and expanding the discourse. So now you saw in this paragraph, in this point number 4, highlight number 4, the two opposing schools, diametrically opposite schools, and they are talking about this thing. Okay, so how both are proposing their arguments in support of what they subscribe. Okay, and how do we reconcile that? So this is based on, again, avidya. Both are presenting an avidya argument. Okay, but fitting to their what they're saying, how could that avidya argument could be right in both cases? That is what it took me a while for me to understand that. And it's not that easy to understand. Okay, so just little have patience, bear with me. At the heart of both Satkaryavada and Asatkaryavada lies. Now, I'm reading very slowly so that you can pay attention to it, understand. Okay, lies a profound exploration of ignorance. And the argument and the analogies that both give, same analogy, but you look at it from a different viewpoints. That is the amazing point of these analogies. Okay, both are right, and both are defending that. And how do they defend? That's the point I would like to draw attention to you, all of you. You know, a profound expression of ignorance, a pivotal element that profoundly shapes how individuals pursue reality. Same reality, but two opposing sides tease from a very different point of view. In the framework of Satkaryavada, ignorance acts as a veil. So again, Satkaryavada is both, I keep repeating myself, if the cause is eternal, the product also has to be eternal. Okay, but we don't say it's eternal because of the avidya portion of it. Okay, leading to deceptive beliefs about its permanence. Conversely, the Satkaryavada invites us to recognize the illusory facets to the material universe. So those people who support Asatkaryavada, they are saying this material world is just illusory. We see what you're saying, eternity, is because of your ignorance, avidya. That's why I'm saying that. Okay, that's why how they're supporting Asatkaryavada. That this product, the effect cannot be permanent, even though it is arising from eternity. The Supreme Lord is eternal. The philosophy dictates that it has got to be eternal, but it's not because of your avidya. Okay? Of the material universe. So how the Vaishnava school defends that thing, that is important to see that. Revealing that what we perceive as permanence stems from misguided attachment to fleeting forms. That means avidya. So the counter examples for logical, both are giving same analogy, interpreting from their own perspective. Okay, within the commentary lies incisive logical refutation of the Satkaryavada stance, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur astutely critiques the materialistic assertion as the Karma Mimamsa argument. Okay, how Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur really proves them wrong. That the world is eternally real simply because it emerges from the eternal. This viewpoint fails to grasp the critical distinction between cause and effect. While the effect is derived from a cause, it does not inherently share the same qualities. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur definitely deconstructs that materialistic interpretation of eternity. So what the Karma Mimamsa people says, that this effect, this material world, cannot be eternal, cannot be real. They are saying that it is illusory, And because of the avidya that is there, that you don't see it, they're attacking the Vaishnava philosophers. So Srila Vishwanath Thakur deftly deconstructs the materialistic interpretation of eternity through compelling counter examples, such as the relationship between father and his son, or a hammer fracturing a part. So father and son is easy to understand, actually, that some people generally understand that the father is the cause, okay, son is the product, effect, okay. So father like son, they say that, but not necessarily always. Sometimes son is totally different than a father. The Vishwanath Thakur is pointing on that argument, okay. So this illustration powerfully demonstrates that effects do not necessarily embody a sense of their cause. Yogurt is coming from milk, that's right, but property is totally different. Once the milk is converted into yogurt, yogurt is not necessarily like milk. It does not reflect the property of milk in the yogurt. That's the point Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is making here. Father like son, it's there, but not always necessarily so. This illustration powerfully demonstrates that effects do not necessarily embody the sense of their cause. So this material world, what Asat Karyavadi says, that it is impermanent. No, it is real, but it is cyclically destroyed and reconstructed. That's the point here. Thereby critically undermining the materialistic perspective, the Karma Mimamsa people. The indirect nature of Vedic teachings. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur brings to light compelling insight regarding the Vedic text. Now, the one analogy they also give, like to introduce that analogy. I don't know if you have seen that a shell, oyster shell, they give the appearance silvery experience, right? It looks like silver, but it cannot be real silver. It's not there. It gives the kind of experience, it gives the kind of impression that it is silver, but it's not necessarily like a real silver, okay. So the Karma Mimamsa, no. Sometimes just like a jolly note, false money, okay. Sometimes they say that they claim that businesses are created even with false money, okay. So Vaishnava school said not necessarily. Eventually, it will turn out the whole business will fall down if that is the truth. Vishwanath Chakravarti brings to light a compelling insight regarding the Vedic text, which might superficially appear to support the idea of permanence in the results of rituals. In truth, these texts convey profound, essential, existential truth about the transitory nature of the material world. So that is the Vaishnava point here, that it is this material world is real, but it is not permanent. It's not eternal. It's cyclically created, maintained, and then annihilated, again created. So this notion is eloquently reinforced by phrases like fruits of karma are impermanent, which resonate with the Asat Karyavada argument that ultimately the material universe is but a fleeting manifestation. So you see both sides of the arguments are right from their own perspective, the way they're explaining that. But the whole notion is diametrically opposite. And that is called philosophical pluralism. VCD commentary champions a philosophy of pluralism, where diverse viewpoints can coalesce. Now, what do you mean coalesce? It can be reconciled. You can show that even though it gives the impression they're diametrically opposite, but not necessarily, they can be real. Just like this argument, Asat Karyavada supporters, they are saying that this material world cannot be real. Okay. But the Vaishnava school says, no, they are real, but it is not eternal. And Vaishnava, Karma Mimamsa people say that you see it that way because of your ignorance on that, avidya portion of it. That's why you see it as real, but it's not permanent, So that's what they're saying that. But the same argument could be turned around. VCT commentary champions the philosophy of pluralism, where diverse viewpoints can coalesce, can be reconciled, and thrive in harmony, depending on the context of understanding. What is the context of understanding? For devoted practitioners, acknowledging that the material world possesses a degree of reality, yet remains inherently temporary, fosters a meaningful engagement while recognizing its limitations. So, material world is real, okay, but it has limitation. Limitation means what? That it is cyclically destroyed, maintained, destroyed. So it gives a temporary kind of a situation that it is not permanent. Asat Karyavada. In that, so they are right. Asat Karyavada, in that portion of the argument, they are right, but overall they are wrong. Okay, this dual awareness cultivates a richer spiritual practice rooted in both the tangible and the transcendent. So the conclusion is what? Now this is the important point. You read the conclusion, okay? Then you'll understand properly. And you'll need to read my PowerPoint several times, and you need to go through that book also and read the original that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary for you to understand. Because in a limited time point, it's very difficult to exactly make it clear. The analysis of Satkaryavada and Asatkaryavada reveals a profound philosophical discourse on the nature of reality. While Satkaryavada emphasizes the continuity and reality of the material world as derived from the eternal, Asatkaryavada critiques this view by highlighting the illusory and temporary nature of the existence shaped by ignorance. Again, I'll read that conclusion again. The analysis of Satkaryavada, so if you really analyze these two philosophies side by side, then you'll understand, reveals a profound philosophical discourse on the nature of reality. Then you'll understand. So there is no disagreement in regard to the cause. Cause is real, okay, and it is eternal. Both schools agree that. What they disagree is the product, this material world. So Asatkaryavada critiques this view by highlighting the illusory and temporary nature of existence shaped by ignorance. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary provides a nuanced framework that navigates those complex ideas, acknowledging the importance of context, the role of ignorance, and the ultimate transcendental nature of the reality beyond the material realm. Now the question is, how do the Vaishnava schools refute what the Karma Mimamsa said? It's because of your ignorance, you fail to see the temporary nature, this cause eternal, but the product material world is just illusory. They are saying that you are seeing that temporary existence created, destroyed, right? That is because of your ignorance, because of avidya. Vaishnava schools say, no, that is not true. the role of ignorance and the ultimate transcendent nature of the reality beyond the material realm. And again, there also the pointing out the Vaishnavas, because they subscribe to the Bhakti school, and in Bhakti school, how they refute that ignorance argument, okay, by the Karma people. They said no, just as Maya, ignorance cannot exist when it comes to Krishna. So in the devotions, bhaktas, devotional service, also are protected to the Maya's influence. That's what they're refuting there. The transience of the universe. Transience means temporary nature of the universe. This passage boldly articulates the idea that the universe is neither eternal nor unchanging. It was brought into existence and will ultimately face annihilation. This is a Vaishnava viewpoint. This fundamental temporality is pivotal. There's the most important sticking point for us to understand. Asserting that everything within the universe is bound by a limited lifespan. In the material world, that which is created, that must be annihilated in given time. In time, anything that is created, anything that is born must die. That's the very nature of material world. Underscoring the ephemeral, the word ephemeral. Material world is many times described as ephemeral. Ephemeral is exactly that. Nature of this temporary existence. Illusory nature of reality. This universe is unveiled as a mere projection within the consciousness of the Supreme Lord, representing the ultimate spiritual reality outlined in Vedanta. Okay, again, this is Vedanta philosophy, and that you need to understand. But I was going through that, Vedanta philosophy. Actually, the Vaishnava philosophy of that was prepared. There's a long history of that. Govinda Bhasya. Govinda Bhasya is Baldev Vidyabhushan, who wrote, because the other schools, other sampradayas were criticizing Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy that you guys don't have your own Vedanta Sutra Bhasya. Okay, so Jaipur's king of Jaipur, he is a devotee, Vaishnava devotee. So he approached Vrindavan devotees and said that, please think about it, and you must produce that bhasya, that commentary on the Srila Vyasadev's Vedanta Sutra, but from a Vaishnava point of view. So he approached Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, but Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was very old at that time. So he sent his student, Baladev, okay, and Baladev went to Jaipur and he prayed earnestly Lord Sri Govinda in the Govinda temple there in Jaipur, and the Lord came in his dream. He said, yes, I will guide you and you will write a scholastic commentary and nobody will be able to defeat you. They'll have to accept it. And that's exactly the Govinda Bhasya came into existence. Okay, it was written in the early 18th century. And Srila Prabhupada wanted to write a commentary of Govinda Bhasya. He wrote an introduction, but then unfortunately he could not do it. By that time he left this planet, so I'm trying to get hold of the Govinda Bhasya, but it's unfortunately it's so huge. It's the whole course in itself. But I'm trying to see if I can make a short course on that if time permits, So Vedanta Sutra is a key to understand the Sat Karyavada debate going on, Govinda Bhasya actually explains Vaishnava schools, Parinamvada philosophy against Vivaradvada philosophy. the illusory nature of reality. This universe is unveiled as a mere projection within the consciousness of the Supreme Lord. So, again, this sentence is very important. This universe is unveiled because the Karma Mimamsa people said that you see the curtain of avidya, that's why you don't see the reality of it is being material world is a kind of illusory existence. It's not a real, but here Vedanta Sutra gives the actual answer to that. Vaishnava, at least Vaishnava version of that explanation. That this, and I told you, Maya cannot touch Krishna, and so Krishna's devotees are also protected from Maya's influence from that point of view. So that is what the refutation represents, the ultimate spiritual reality outlined. That is exactly in Vedanta Sutra. If you understand it from Vaishnava standpoint, then you'll be able to understand it. So this notion resonates deeply with the philosophical principles of illusion. That's exactly where it is shown how Maya operates. Where, because that is the sticking point between the Karma Mimamsa people and the Vaishnava school. They are saying that you are not seeing the reality of that the temporary nature, illusory nature of this material world, because you are under the Maya's influence. Maya makes you don't see it, But the Vedanta Sutra, Vaishnava version, said that is not possible. Maya doesn't work, doesn't operate. It's beyond her jurisdiction when it comes to Krishna and his devotees. Where what is perceived as reality is truth in elaborate figment of imagination. That's what they're saying. Okay? So the analogy of a material transformation, such as clay morphing into a pot, powerfully illustrate. So the pot is real, is come from clay, that you see it all the time, actually, How can you say that pot or the gold ornaments can be an illusion? Cause and effect. Effect is real, that you can see it, The essence remains unchanged, highlighting that superficial appearance deceive. Same another analogy is given in that in the Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is this I told you about the shell of oyster, which gives a silvery experience, silvery kind of appearance, but it's not real silver. The Karma Mimamsa people say that it gives the appearance, but that silver is there actually. That's what they're saying. It's not. That is what I had a difficulty to understand why Karma Mimamsa people could say that silvery appearance is also real. Intelligence and ignorance. So then they are arguing that we are not saying that we are not arguing about the difference between that the silvery appearance of oyster. That's what they're. But at the same time, what they're arguing that difference is not the issue here. The issue here that it gives the appearance of silver there. That's what they're saying. At least visibly. The text provocatively suggests that those who cling to the material world is inherently real, and they suffer from intellectual limitations. What they're suggesting there. So this assertion, this kind of accusation is bolstered by reference to the scholars, Gyanis and Karma Mimamsa, underscoring that both extremes, viewing the world as more mere fantasy or as an eternal truth, miss the mark in understanding the reality's true nature. So they keep harping at each other, the scriptural validation. So now Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also talks about the scriptures now in support of how he defends the Vaishnava philosophy, Satkaryavada and even Asatkaryavada, both can be right on that basis, they say. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti deftly draws upon the authority of the personified Shrutis to reinforce his arguments, particularly citing the Vedas, which unequivocally illuminates the universe's transient essence. Transient means temporary. It's real, but it's temporary. His references from Rig Veda and the Chandogya Upanishad provides a robust philosophical foundation, instilling unwavering confidence in reader regarding the validity of his insights. So these Shrutis references, they support what he's saying there. And now the philosophical analogies. The powerful analogy of clay versus gold serves to clarify that while material forms undergo constant change, the core substance remains immutable. Gold ornaments. It is made from the gold. And if you melt it, you can get back the gold actually, so you see the reality of gold is there in that sense. This compelling imagery urges readers to recognize that material labels such as clay or gold are merely superficial and do not capture the ultimate spiritual reality. These distinctions distract from the true nature of these objects. So that these kind of analogies take you away from the truth if you don't realize that. Differential philosophical interpretation. So now the text 36 is over, now 37 now. So to summarize what we talked about just now, Satkaryavada and Asatkaryavada, and both can be right depending on how we look at it. Okay? The way Karma Mimamsa people say that the cause is eternal, they agree, there's no point of difference in there, but the product, this material world, they said that it is not real, it's illusory. The point that you are claiming, Vaishnava schools claiming that it's real but temporary, that is because of the avidya. And the Vaishnava schools are defending that based on the Vedanta Sutra arguments that this avidya is not playing a role in case of devotees, because we are talking about Krishna and the bhakti is protecting that. There's no, that is not, you actually see the reality of material world. You are in it. You actually experience day in, day out. Material world is real, but it is created and destroyed. So that avidya argument of the Karma Mimamsa people, it does not stand there, cannot stand there, that's what they're saying. So while both Mesiti and BBT addresses the illusory nature of the universe, VCT offers a more incisive philosophical analysis by interpreting scriptural references to substantiate its viewpoints. In contrast, so now, because I'm presenting, when I prepared these PowerPoints, I compared both BBT philosophy, BBT purport in the Bhagavatam purports, Bhakti Vedanta purports, as well as Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's purports, the commentary, So there is a little, both are right, but the emphasis is placed differently. What BBT plays in emphasis focus is slightly different from VCT, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And that's the point I want to draw attention, your attention to it, okay? So here that is what is given in this slide. Differential philosophical interpretation of the verse 37. Well, both Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and BBT address the illusory nature of the universe, okay, defying with the Karma Mimamsa people. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur offers a more incisive philosophical analysis by, now listen very carefully, by interpreting scriptural reference to substantiate its viewpoints, the Shruti references. In contrast, the BBT purport seeks to weave these ideas into a broader understanding of the spiritual reality that underlies material existence. Both interpretations converge on the indispensable theme of the material world's transitory nature. Both BBT purport and VCT's commentary both are saying this material world is temporary. It cannot be eternal, okay? But not necessarily it's illusory. It's real, but temporary. Both are saying that, Vishwanath Chakravarti presenting scriptural references where BBT is explaining underlies material existence, understanding the spiritual reality that underlies material existence. Both interpretations converge on the indispensable theme of the material world's transitory nature. Now, I'm going to take a short break right now in a few minutes, then stop by and see if you could understand what this is difficult to, I agree, it's very difficult, but what, based on what my understanding, whether it went through in your mind or not, that's what I want to find out. And what you did not understand properly. What is the main point that differs from the Vaishnava school and the Karma Mimamsa people, and how Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur defends that through rigorous philosophical argumentation, and BBT through comprehensive contextual synthesis. So contextual means what? In terms of context-driven argument. Conclusion, in a sense, the profound philosophical insight of this passage lies in distinguishing the temporary, illusory character of the material universe from the everlasting reality of the Supreme Lord. So this is the Satkaryavada and Asatkaryavada that is talking about. Okay? So VCT's teachings underpin this supporting point by authoritative scriptural citations, challenges readers to confront the folly, the fallacy of conflating fleeting material forms with the ultimate truth. By understanding the universe as merely a transient manifestation. So that's the point, main thing. It is not illusory, it's real because we see, we experience it, but it is temporary, created and destroyed, and then recreated. One can cultivate a profound appreciation for spiritual. So main argument of the Karma Mimamsa people that it is all illusion, this is not a reality, that is refuted here. He says that, illuminating the awe-inspiring eternal reality of the Supreme Lord that transcends more mere appearance. So it's too many wordy argument is there, but the point is becoming very clear. This, if you want to explain in a simple words for us to understand the reconciliation point, both Satkaryavada and Asatkaryavada can be right. Okay, that this material world is created from the eternity of Lord Shri Krishna. Okay, but the two schools differ in their argument of the product. the material world. Karma Mimamsa people say that that is temporary. But the way you say that it is real, that's what you're saying, Vaishnava schools claim, is because of avidya. Vaishnava schools are known that's not possible. Look at the references. Shruti is what they're saying. Okay? And Shruti is supporting both schools that it is not illusory, but it's temporary. So that argument supports both Satkaryavada and Asatkaryavada. It is real, but temporary. So now see, there is a key point for you to understand how both Satkaryavada and Asatkaryavada, they seemingly diametrically opposite, yet they could be right. Okay? Satkaryavada says that it has to be real, not illusion. Material world is real. Asatkaryavada says it cannot be real. Yes, it cannot be real because it creates, destroys, recreates. Now, I hope everybody understood that point. How both seemingly diametrically opposite viewpoints can be reconciled by these two sets of arguments. One set produces that it is your avidya, you think it is real. That point is defeated here. There's no avidya cannot act. That avidya, Maya, does not have jurisdiction when it comes to bhakti towards Supreme Lord. And it is both temporary and it is for the time it exists, it's real. For the time it is there, it's the question of permanency. That's the sticky point. Okay, I'll take a break and let me take some questions. See if did I succeed or not? I don't know. That point across. Okay, it's open. Let's spend about 5 minutes. Then in about 15 minutes later, then we'll open up the discussion, more detailed discussion. But at least for now, I want to understand whether did I get across this Vaishnava philosophy, how they are refuting Karma Mimamsa people, and how Karma Mimamsa people are arguing that where Vaishnava philosophies could be wrong, what they're saying, based on what, So let me open it up. Any questions?
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You
It's not
tried,
easy.
yeah, not easy. A lot of jugglery of words. I will say that it's a jugglery of words, the way it's put it. So the way I am understanding, Prabhuji, you made at the end, you summarized very nicely. Sat Karyavad, they say, they also believe it, the source, right? It's from eternal, the word should come as eternal. But they see that world is not eternal; it is illusory. And
Eternal for the time, for the existence, it's existing
correct.
of eternity,
Correct.
But
because that is Sat is eternity. That is the Satchit Anand. Eternity factor we are taking only.
Yes.
And the lifespan or whatever you call, that is the eternal existence.
That's right.
We are talking only existence, nothing else here. That is only one parameter. So they say, Satkarivar, they say from it's coming. So it is from eternal it's coming. So this should be eternal, but this is as not eternal. So they say it's illusory. Whereas the devotee says it is not, it's coming from Sat, eternity. So that's the Lord. So material world is also eternal, but it's a temporary. Now, the difference between these two is that it is a temporary or transient in the sense that it's created and destroyed. If you look at that, so that means when you call eternal, if it is stands in the beginning and it's the same thing at the end, and in between also same, then it's eternal, right? In the beginning same, in between same, at the end also same, it's eternal. But here what happened? The world originated in the beginning, at the end also it is again coming back. But in
Yeah.
transit, sometimes it go back, destroys and comes back, right? It comes back.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
that point only we have to understand. Vaishnava says that it's created because we see Brahma sleeps and it goes back, again it comes. So I understand, I was reading Prabhuji, it says that Prakriti is eternal, Jiva is eternal, Ishwar is eternal.
Yes.
That's the higher they talk. Prakriti eternal. In our conversation, we also saw that Jivas are created, our Atman is created along with the Lord is eternal, Paramatma, and Jiva is also eternal, right? So Prakriti is also eternal. But
Yeah.
it shows and it shows, doesn't show, right? Prakat and aprakat. It happens because it goes through transition. That's what you say that, and that part I understand, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me hear from others. Prasad Prabhu, Sanjeev Prabhuji, Raksha Mataji,
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Deepti
So,
Mataji.
again, like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that this material world is dukhalayam ashasvatam. Right? So, it is ashasvatam and it is dukhalayam. So, it is temporary in that sense, but it is created again and again. So, now, as Radha Vinod Prabhu said, that it's a jugglery of word, twisting the word around. So, that's what they have made it complete. But like Romeo PPD and the Acharyas, they have given us a very good and clear, crisp understanding of what we should look like. And there were
So
like
the point
examples.
here, the main point here, it is happened this, but during the time it exists, you cannot say it's illusory. It's real.
Correct.
It's
So
a fine.
even, yeah.
That's the main
Even
argument Vaishnava school saying. For the duration of its existence, you cannot say that's illusory. And the opposing argument that it's Maya, you think it is existing, that argument does not hold water.
yes, the illusory part is
I
like how
want to
we
make sure
associate it.
you understood that point, main point.
Yes. So,
Okay. Let me hear from others. रक्षा माता जी आप
हरे
समझ पाए?
कृष्णा यस प्रभु थोड़ा थोड़ा समझ पाए मगर मतलब कारण और उपादान कारण बोथ सेम मतलब अगर जो घड़ा है घड़ा में से जो मतलब क्ले से बना है और क्ले और जो घड़ा में जो क्ले है वो सेम है मगर घड़ा फूट जाता है तो इट डजंट मीन के क्ले चली गई है क्ले तो वही है
बिल्कुल ठीक है वैसे gold ornaments also the same thing. If you melt it to get the gold back again.
यस प्रभु तो प्रभु जी अगर भगवत गीता के 15 चैप्टर में फर्स्ट श्लोक हमें बताया है कि संसार जो है ऊर्ध्व मूल मतलब रिफ्लेक्ट परवर्डेड फॉर्म ऑफ द स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड मतलब प्रतिबिंब है ये
बट यहाँ ये इश्यू नहीं है रक्षा माता जी यहाँ स्पिरिचुअल के साथ कंपैरिजन नहीं हो रही है यहाँ वर्ल्ड की कंपैरिजन नहीं हो रही है यहाँ कंपैरिजन ये हो रही है कि ये जो जगत है हम जिसमें जी रहे हैं वो सच्चे उसमें सत्य क्या है वो सच में ये सब हमें इल्यूजन लगता है कि नहीं कर्म पीपल से दैट दिस इज ऑल इल्यूजन इट्स नॉट अ रियलिटी but the Vaishnava school said no it's a reality at least for the time being during its existence it's real.
Yes,
that's the main point.
Yes प्रभु जी
वो लोग बोलते हैं कि तुम जो रियलिटी समझते हो even during that time its existence that is also not a real that's also illusion because of avidya but avidya argument Vishwanath Chakravarti refutes because of the bhakti point of view and Maya has no jurisdiction.
Prabhuji, it's not only Maya, but he gives a ample examples from other places, right? To citing. He's just not saying his own, citing other examples from Shrutis. He's saying this is what is there.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Sanjeev Prabhu, आप समझ पाए ना?
Yes, clear. Yeah, like the debate you mentioned is more about is clearly about the current material world.
Yeah, thank you. Samantha Mataji, आप समझ पाए?
Yes, Prabhuji. जो एग्जांपल्स बताए जैसे
तो
अभी
बार बार रीड करना पड़ेगा आपको.
यस
And
यस
to commentary itself, you know.
कल भी पैरेट के एग्जांपल थे, दोज वेर गुड एग्जांपल्स टू लर्न. और आज के भी मिट्टी और घड़ा और गोल्ड अच्छे एग्जांपल दिए.
Thank you.
Yeah, it became quite clear.
Yeah. So let me continue. Okay, then. Select. Okay, the text 38. Now 38 and 39, that's when we'll stop, you know. So the delusion of material existence, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary versus BBT purports. Now we are talking about within this only, okay? Both are exactly saying the same point, but the focus is different, okay? The BBT purport, Bhagavatam purport, the focus is different than what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying. So text 38, nature of the material world, that's what we are talking about, okay? Now I'm going to read quite slowly, okay, so that you can get the point. But in your leisure time, when you go, then you read these PowerPoints and compare with the original one, okay? Verse 38, commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur unveils means uncover the curtain, the profound transformative power inherent in recognizing the illusory nature of material existence. So this argument that this Maya is drawing a curtain, that's why you don't see the reality. Okay? Known as Mahamaya. So Mahamaya, now here the difference between Mahamaya and Yogamaya. Okay. And again, I'm going this point has also been discussed so many times in the past. You must understand clearly what is Mahamaya and Yogamaya. Mahamaya works on conditioned souls. Okay. And Yogamaya works not on conditioned soul, but those who are devotees and to enjoy their close relationship Krishna has with his devotees, Dasya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, parental rasa, conjugal rasa, so that kind of close proximity in those kind of relationship that they have, Yogamaya facilitates that relationship. Okay, so illusion, sometimes Yogamaya can also put Krishna in the illusion deliberately, so Krishna can enjoy with his devotees a close relationship. Okay, and Mahamaya is actually an expansion of Yogamaya that many of you may not know. Okay. Mahamaya is an expansion of Yogamaya, ultimately. So here, that point is being brought here. It ensnares Mahamaya, puts the conditioned soul in illusion. The embodied Atman, Jivatman, actually, we are talking about. Atman means pure soul. Pure soul is not subject to temporary illusion, because that is part of Krishna, Paramatma, Satchidananda. Okay, but because he has accepted this material body, the upadhis, that upadhis makes him prone to come to the illusion, because Atman is a minor atomic part of the Vibhu, Supreme. So into the web of receptive material forms, shaped by Prakriti's three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. This entrapment blinds the soul to its innate spiritual attributes. So the spirituality of the soul, Atman, is submerged because of these upadhis. So this entrapment blinds the soul to its innate spiritual attributes, perpetuating a relentless cycle of samsara. What is samsara? Repeated birth, death, old age diseases. The translocation of the soul into 8.4 million species of life into 14 planetary system, that is called samsara. And samsara is due to the body-mind complex. That's the cause of it. As long as the soul Constitutively, it is not possible. Okay? But because it misidentifies its own existence with his material body, that's when he comes into that kind of consciousness. Material consciousness, he thinks he's part of his body. Okay? Then he suffers this samsara. However, by piercing through this illusion, one can shatter the chain of material bondage and reclaim the spiritual essence through bhakti. When you take shelter of Lord Shri Krishna, Krishna's bhakti protects us from Maya's influence. We see the reality. As long as you don't turn your face away from Krishna, Maya cannot touch you. Only when you turn your face against Krishna, then Maya immediately catches you. And bhakti, just because you're doing bhakti, it's not going to eternally protect you. As if you stop bhakti, even for a short time, you will again fall down to the illusion, Maya's illusion. So bhakti is like a shield. You need to keep your shield all the time protecting you. That point is very important. Many devotees fail to see that. Oh, I'm a devotee. I'll never be affected by Maya. But the moment he drops bhakti shield, Maya is catching him. So distinction between Atman and Paramatman. Again, this is a familiar. I told you that. I'll keep repeating that thing unless you have a crystal clear viewpoint. The difference between Atman, Jivatman, and Paramatman. The interrelationship between three entities. You must be very crystal clear about it. Okay. So that point is again coming back here. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur elucidates that while the individual Atman, now we are talking about Atman, okay, individual Atman and Paramatman are qualitatively equal, Satchitananda, but the quantitatively different. The Atman in its infinitesimal nature, atomic size, it becomes prone to come under the influence of Maya and then thereby ignorance. In stark contrast, Paramatman remains untouched by Maya. Maya is actually subservient to Paramatman because Maya is his external energy, his potency, Shaktiman versus Shakti. This dynamic is vividly illustrated through the analogy of smoke, ignorance, developing or enveloping a small glowing sphere, the Jivatman, while the boundless light of the sun, the Supreme Soul, shines uninhibited. So you see that it's again, it's like a small source that can be covered by darkness. See the little gold ornament, something like that. It's a sparkling nature, is right? Gold. But that darkness can cover it. But darkness cannot cover the sun, most powerful. This dynamic is vividly illustrated through the analogy of a smoke, ignorance, enveloping a small glowing sphere, the Jivatman, while the boundless light of the sun is this planet Earth. When it turns around on the opposite side of the sun, darkness comes, right? But the darkness cannot cover the sun planet, star. Sun is not a planet, it's a star. And while the boundless light of the sun, the Supreme Soul, Paramatman, shines uninhibited. So this Maya cannot touch. This imagery suggests that Jivatman's entrapment is transient, is temporary, and ultimately does not compromise the essence of Paramatman. So that is the fundamental difference between Paramatman and Jivatman, all right? Now about Mahamaya and Yogamaya. And I explained to you the truth behind that. The text compellingly distinguishes between Mahamaya, the external energy that conforms the living entities, and Yogamaya, the internal drive. And Yogamaya is the internal potency. Mahamaya is external potency. But Mahamaya actually comes from Yogamaya. Okay, it's an expansion for that role to be given to her. Mahamaya serves as a mere partial expansion of Yogamaya. Understanding this distinction is pivotal importance, critically important, as it frames Mahamaya not as a defining characteristic of Paramatman's essence, but as an external force that misleads. That is the external energy, separated energy of Sri Krishna. Mystic perfections. But first of all, I'm going to make sure that if you guys get a clear understanding of Mahamaya and Yogamaya vis-a-vis the conditioned soul's entrapment. Did you guys understand that?
Yes, Prabhuji. Mahamaya is like expansion, you said, of Yogamaya, and Mother Durga is the manifestation in this material world.
Yeah. And Durga's
Her
job,
work is keep away the conditioned soul, Prabhuji.
yeah.
From,
And why
away from the Lord Krishna.
And why Mahamaya controls with the three modes the conditioned soul? Why? What is the reason for that? Why is she making you turn your face away from Krishna? Why?
One is we want it, second, she is testing us.
According to our desire, Maya gives the facility.
Because we have these material desires. Unless we turn away from Krishna, we cannot enjoy. So Maya is given a thankless job to take you away from Krishna so that you can carry on your material desires. And that is the reason why Brahmaji created these 5 layers of ignorance, upadis, on us, moha and all these things, is because so that we can continue remaining in this material consciousness because of that. Mystic perfections. Furthermore, the text presents Paramatman as the embodiment of 8 mystic perfections. The 8 mystic perfections, you know that, smaller than the smallest, larger than the largest, and so on like that. Some yogis can do that, you know. They can bend themselves, the entire body. I have seen on TV these people, they do that really. They force themselves in a small cube, plastic tube. Their body is like elastic, you know, and they can do that. Such as anima, the ability to become smaller than the smallest, mahima, the power to expand beyond the largest. These remarkable abilities underscore his boundless powers and opulence, standing in stark contrast limited capacity of the Jivatman. So Krishna can do that, you know. And Jivatman has a very small possibility only. This contrast reinforces Paramatman's transcendence over the material realm. So Paramatma is the whole point is here. Paramatma is unaffected. Mahamaya cannot touch Paramatman. Scriptural references. Both VCT and BVT purport richly reference various scriptures, Shrutis, including the Svetasvatara Upanishad, to bolster, to support, to expand their arguments. Among the striking metaphors is the analogy of the 2 birds perceived perched on a tree, vividly illustrating the dynamic between the soul pursuing material satisfaction while the Supreme Soul remains serenely detached. It's like that Shakshamati gives many times this example, right? Two birds on a branch on a tree. One bird enjoys the fruit of the tree. The other bird simply witnesses, watches. Super soul watches them. Differential interpretation. While both VCT and BBT provide valuable insights on this verse 38, VCT emphasizes the philosophical contrast between Jivatman and Paramatman. We discussed so many times, particularly focusing on Jivatman's vulnerability. Vulnerability means susceptibility to material illusion. Conversely, BBT dives into the implications of this sacred relationship, highlighting how Paramatman remains impervious to ignorance and how Maya acts as an external force. Again, this point is also we have discussed so many times. Conclusion. I always give you the conclusion at the end of some difficult passages. And there, if you read, pay close attention to those conclusions. It'll give you a bottom point. The passage from 37 offers a deep philosophical inquiry into the essence of reality, illuminating the relationship between individual Jivatman and all-pervading Paramatman, and the shedding light on the role of Maya in clouding the spiritual truth. The critical distinction between Mahamaya and Yogamaya is essential for understanding the intricacies of spiritual entrapment and liberation. Yogamaya will lead you to liberation. Mahamaya will not. Final words. This picture tells into formidable. I'm taking a little bit over time now, but bear with me another 3-4 minutes. And profound consequences faced by individuals navigating spiritual paths, such as renunciation and yoga, while failing to fully eradicate their material desires. Here is a more compelling breakdown of key thematic points. Impurity from material desires. So that's the point. So long as we have these material desires, we're going to be continually going to be trapped in the material existence. But that's exactly Maya's job, to keep you tightly anchored on the ground of material existence. And she gives you a chance. We give the chance to Mahamaya to control us because of our material desires. Okay? And then down here, talk about those sannyasis. When they have lingering material desires, even though they are sannyasis, but they are truly not sannyasis. If they harbor secret material desires, eventually they fall down. Mithyachari, that's Krishna calls in Bhagavad Gita such sannyas called Mithyachari. They just pretend to be sannyas, but they are not. So that is what the point is being brought here. But how dangerous material desires can be. Consequences of desires for sense gratification. So practitioners, sadhakas like us, who pursue yoga solely for sensory pleasure, are destined to experience suffering. So material desire is the cause of our suffering. But you cannot say that I will not have material desires. That's simply impossible. That's not possible. Only you can transform material desires into spiritual desire. That is the way, that is the trick to oppose that. It takes to realize that such individuals inescapably remain trapped in samsara because of their material desires, like a fuel. It keeps igniting them. You need to burn out that fuel. Types of practitioners. Again, this jnani is that kind of familiar argument is there. The role of true renunciation. Superficial outward renunciation is insufficient for attaining the divine. A profound transformation of the heart. And bhakti will give you the transformations, the remarkable transformation, and total detachment from sensory indulgence are imperative. BBT purport elaborates that true sages must renounce not just material vices such as illicit sex, meat eating, and so on like that, but also the desires for fame. See, these sannyasis, they won over all those kind of things, four regulative principles and everything. But the desire that everybody should admire him, oh, how great sannyasi he is, how knowledgeable he is, how great control he has, that kind of thing also could be subtly dangerous for sannyasis. That's what the point is coming. Social prestige, fame, that's the hardest part to come. We discussed this point when we did this the other course. What is that course? I forgot the name of the course.
Manashiksha.
Yes, exactly. Philosophical insight on suffering. Suffering is an unavoidable reality for those who engage in rigorous practices merely for sense gratification. So that is the problem. Sense control is extremely important, and artificially you cannot control it. It is like a compressing a spring to a point, and then the spring will bring someday like that do that. So you cannot do that. Only to taking shelter of Shri Krishna in our devotional service, then Krishna will protect us from Maya's influence. So hypocrisy and renunciation, the renunciation is not genuine, then that is a mithyachari. Scripture Mandaka Upanishad quoted by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur to illustrate that worldly desires lead to perpetual rebirth, samsara, constantly trapped in samsara. Again, conclusion underscores this imperative genuine renunciation and perils of incomplete spiritual practice. And remember the danger, we can always fall down. No matter how great advancement you might have made, but the moment you drop the shield of devotional service, moment you stop chanting, moment you stop hearing Krishna Katha, moment you give up devotee association, Maya will immediately catch you. So that's it. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I'm very sorry I took 15 minutes more, But this was a very difficult philosophy to understand that. Very difficult. Difficult to understand and even more difficult to explain in a limited time frame. Okay. Hare Krishna. So I don't know if are there any points, questions? We can continue next week. Before we open the class, we'll take that questions, okay? If you have. But
Yeah,
read.
we'll read couple of times more.
Yes.
I think yesterday's and today's a lot of things we need to gradually go once, twice, thrice, and as you say sequentially, read Vishwanath Chakravarti. I read once. I read that you said Krishna book.
You need to read several times. I had to read several times to understand that. But he explains it, convincingly explains it. So the one who is going to recap is particularly will have to do his or her job is cut out for that,
Yeah.
Okay. बहन जी आप है बहन जी आप कीजिए नशियों prayer. Hari bol.
Hari bol. I do.
Please continue.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Dahine. Prahlad Dahine. हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः हिरण्यकाशीपूर्वक्षः शीलटङ्कालनकालाये शीलटङ्कालनकालाये ito narsimha parato narsimha yeto yami tato narsimha bahir narsimha hriday narsimha bahir narsimha hriday narsimha नरसिंहदीं शरणं प्रपदे तव कर कमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गं तनुभृङ्गं केशवधृता नरहरे जय जगदीश हरे तव कर कमलवरे नखाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गां दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय हो नरसिंहदेव जय हो नरसिंहदेव जय हो नरसिंहदेव जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय हो प्रहलाद महाराज जय हो प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय हो प्रभुपाद जय हो प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव थैंक यू हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे सब संतों की जय हो सब we are not hearing you. You are on.
I had mute. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And thank you all of you for your patience. And I'm very sorry for I took 15-20 minutes more. Hare Krishna. So I wish you all a wonderful week ahead. And we'll meet next weekend. And that time we'll do the part B, which is the easiest part. Wonderful weekend ahead. Hare Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna to all devotees. Hare Krishna.
Or wonderful. I'm sorry, Samta Mataji, I could not reach in time and could not do Kirtan Seva. Sorry.
Hare Krishna.
I think Samta Mataji has left.